Super Retro Force.
When it comes to the world of gaming, there are of course tough bosses, and then there are ones that crawl under your skin. The ones that make your heart race and your palms sweat before the fight even begins. For every gamer there's that one boss battle that they'll never forget. You know, the one that made you hesitate before walking through the door or even jumping behind the sofa for safety. But it's not always the biggest bosses that are the scariest. Sometimes it's the unsettling quiet ones that jump out of you without a moment's notice. So join me today as I take a look at some of the scariest bosses in the world of gaming. Let's start with one of the most iconic symbols of horror in gaming history, otherwise known as Pyramid Head. Hailing from the Silent Hill series, this guy isn't just another monster, no. Pyramid Head himself is a walking nightmare. When he appears, you know you're not just in danger, you're facing the consequences of your own mind. And with the sound of that giant blade dragon behind him, you know it's the sound of inevitable doom. Next up, we've got the ultimate predator, the xenomorph from Alien Isolation. The xenomorph is pure relentless terror. It stalks you through every inch of the dark abandoned space station, listening for every sound that you make. The real fear comes in the silence, when you hear nothing but your own heartbeat. It's in those quiet moments where the terror truly seeps in, because you know the xenomorph could be absolutely anywhere. It could be in the vents, it could be around the corner, or even right behind you.
Oh crap.
Moving from sci-fi horror to pure gothic nightmare, we have the Orphan of Kos from Bloodborne, and as for his design, it's absolutely horrifying. What makes the Orphan of Kos so terrifying isn't just its grotesque design or the sheer difficulty of the battle, it's the emotion behind it. He's not just trying to kill you, he's in pain, and somehow this makes him even more disturbing. And in true Bloodborne fashion, there is of course absolutely no mercy. Now, what could be scarier than an unkillable monster that won't stop chasing you? Welcome to Resident Evil 3, and of course we have Nemesis. Unlike most bosses, Nemesis doesn't stick to a single area. He's an ever-present threat, constantly stalking you throughout the game. You might slow him down, but just when you think you've got a moment to breathe, he crashes through a wall or drops out of the sky. But it's not just his sheer power that makes Nemesis an absolutely terrifying boss. Each encounter ramps up the tension, making you feel like you're constantly being hunted. There's a reason Nemesis is one of the most iconic villains in gaming. It's rare that a gaming series as beloved as Zelda gives us something scary, but when it came to Dead Hand from the Ocarina of Time, this is the stuff of nightmares. You're deep in the Shadow Temple, already in one of the game's creepiest areas, and then you see it. Those long pale hands reaching out of the ground, trying to grasp for you. And this is the reason why Dead Hand is one of those enemies that gets under your skin. It doesn't move fast, but that's what makes it so terrifying. The fear isn't just in its appearance, it's in the tension, the build-up of knowing you can't move as it gets closer. For many players, Dead Hand was their first encounter with a true horror boss, and it still stands out as one of the scariest bosses within the Zelda franchise, although I could name a few. Let's talk about a boss that doesn't just scare you physically, it messes with your mind. Gigus is the embodiment of madness. The fight itself is disorientating. You're not fighting to win, you're fighting to understand what exactly is happening. It's a boss battle that transcends the game. It gets into your head and stays there permanently. And there you have it, some scary bosses in the world of gaming. But what are yours? Let me know in the comments below. But anyway, come back next time for another video in the month of horror. But be sure to check out the horror themed videos over on Super Retro Force. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.